Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love what you see here, please reach out to me. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. That remains my email address. It is still in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today we are discussing a lovely yellow gold Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra, 39.2 millimeters in diameter. It's a thin for coaxial, 11.2 millimeters thick, and then 46 millimeters, 46.9 from lug tip to lug tip, and a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. All of which is to say, especially compared to thick and somewhat Brobdingnagian modern day Aqua Terras, this watch wears really nicely on a small wrist. These early coaxes, like the pre-coaxials, are fairly thin. And you can see how on my wrist the watch would fit easily underneath the cuff. I'm pulling it very tight because it has a high-grade alligator leather strap, and those always start stiff. But make no mistake, you could wear this watch on a wrist as small as 13 centimeters circumference once the strap breaks in. Strap, high grade, and as you can see, Omega factory, calfskin on the bottom, medium brown, matte finish on the top. There's actually quite a bit of bolstering to give it volume. It feels substantial. A contrasting stitch that matches the silver white of the dial, and then a sheer cut side showing the thick layers of leather applied. We have a long-running Omega folding clasp design. You can see inside it's engine turned and polished, externally all polished. Twin trigger release, it cannot pop open accidentally. And the way this works is you simply slip it through. It slides underneath these two little pincers. And once you slide it in there and keep it pinned on the pin, all the excess length is underneath the strap. So there's no excess length flapping in the breeze and no need for strap minder loops. So it's a very secure but also a very clean clasp. We have the lyre style lugs, inward and outward bevels, with the outward bevels polished, and continuing through the mid case, though they do thin out at the mid case, we have a nice slim case band, really in contrast to the sheer sides of the much thicker current day Omegas. Back in the mid to 2000s when this example was made, they still had the lithe, slim, athletic look of 90s Omegas. We have a screw-down crown. The watch is 150 meters water-resistant. And then on the dial, you could see a combination of a broad arrow minute hand, a Dauphine hour hand, and then a counterweighted lancet-style seconds hand. And note, all three hands are loomed. We've got faceted yellow gold applique indices, which match both the yellow gold case, the yellow gold Omega marquee, and the hands. We have a faceted date window, which gives us a nice progressive slope down from the plane of the dial to the date disc. My understanding is that because this is a 2500 Charlie, a 2500C, the C and later versions of the 2500 used this flat 4 design, where instead of coming to a peak at its top, the uppermost portion of the 4 flattens out. The watch does feature a combination of hacking seconds. Just make sure we're not in the date change zone here. It has hacking seconds. It has a quick set date, just like that. Now, the dial has a lovely metallic silver sunburst graining and surprisingly good loom. Again, all three hands loomed, and then plenty of luminescent material at the indices themselves. Flip it all over, and we have something that you don't often see on 2500 series calibers, which is a display case back. Now, what you're looking at is the 2500 Charlie. There were a lot of changes through the first 3 generations of the 2500. The first one was the original George Daniels 1999 DeVille coaxial, and there were all sorts of different conflicts between Daniels and Omega about what rate it should run at, whether or to what extent it should be lubricated. There was a problem with the pallet bridge. It was very susceptible to stopping under conditions of shock. That was resolved with the 2500 Bravo, but there were still some issues with the shock susceptibility and the oscillation rate and the lubrication. And so the Charlie was introduced, and the big change is that the rate goes from 4 Hertz to 3.5 Hertz, which is more native to the mechanism, as it features the coaxial built into what was formerly an ETA 2892A2 architecture. So it is a 2892A2, albeit highly modified, and in this, the Charlie, or third revision, Omega finally found respectable reliability, and durability. So you want a Charlie or later if you're doing one of these. And if you do find an alpha, keep it. Even if it doesn't run, they're so rare that in non-functional form, they're worth a lot of money. But for everyday use, you want a Charlie or later. So now what we're looking at here is a bidirectional winding system. It energizes a 48-hour power reserve. That's about 4 more than the standard Omega 1120, which in turn was based on the 289282. So now it has that 3.5 hertz beat rate. It's adjusted in 5 positions and chronometer certified. And you can see it's free sprung, which is quite different from a standard 1120 or 2892. So that means it can be precisely adjusted in its 5 positions, and then it'll be more resistant to shock, so you don't have a mobile stud index that could change the timing if it shifts under impact. You can also see it pivots on 27 joules, which is 4 more than a standard 1120. And 6 more than a standard 289282. Now, it's also decorated quite nicely. This is not artisanal hand decoration, but Omega, for both the pre-coaxial 1120s and the 2500s, they spec'd a relatively high level of finish and detailing. So while it's not applied by hand, it is applied handsomely, attractively, and it's more than worthy of this display case back. And of course, you've got the coax, which is really cool, because there aren't a whole lot of sub $10,000 watches that have reliable exotic escapements, and this is one of them. It's a double impulse system that has one direct and one indirect impulse, which is to say one impulse is transmitted to the balance by means of a lever. The other is transmitted directly to the roller jewel on the balance. So that's direct and indirect impulse. And it is tangential friction, which is different than the sliding friction you get on a traditional Swiss lever escapement. And that difference makes all the difference for power reserve, for chronometric precision, and of course for maintenance requirements, which is why ultimately Omega wound up with very long service intervals once the coax was completely developed. And yes, this is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer, so it lives up to its billing. If you love this now borderline vintage Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra, reach out to me. I am still Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.